But again, y'all want to know how much I paid? $1,484. Shoo, it's hot, y'all. It's hot. Just left the gym. Got me a good workout in. Feeling good. Gotta get them guns back right. But as you see from the title of the video, we did it. We didn't just do it, we did it. You may say, what? We didn't just do it, we did it. We actually placed the order for some Alibaba wheels. Not just going through the process and talking about it. We put the deposit down because you got to pay half. Let them do their thing. And then we should get our wheels. If not, we get our money back. Hopefully the wheels are what they say they are. But we did it, we did it, we did it. Now let me explain something, because I know some people, oh, Alibaba wheels, they coming from China. I have the 22s on the bins that we're in now. Y'all seen the videos? If not, we'll check them out. These wheels are Road Force RF22. They came in a big old box, y'all know, 4 of them. And guess where they say they were made at? Made in China. They're made in China. And these are cast wheels. These are not forged wheels that are on the bins, which that means they're a little bit heavier. So this notion that it's a problem ordering wheels from China, people don't understand business. You go to Walmart and you don't say anything, for the most part, about the stuff you buy that's mostly made in China. Why? Because of the convenience factor. People don't like to be uncomfortable. And so when they are made uncomfortable, or it's something that they don't understand, and they don't really have the capacity to step back and say, okay, how does this work? They just say stuff for the most part. For me, I've been ordering stuff from China when it was more sketchy. You know, when they, they still do it, but I'm 42, so I was ordering stuff back from China like when I was in high school. Yeah, ordering shoes, having them come in the box, and then, you know, sell them out the back of the trunk, sell them at school or whatever. So for this right here, it's nothing new for me. There are more protections in place now. But I know y'all want to know about the wheels. All right, so I'm going to give you the breakdown of what I did, how I did it. When you're dealing with ordering these wheels, you got to know what you want. You can't go in here playing no games. You got to know what you want. You want to be direct. You want to conduct yourself as an actual business person. If you don't know how to do that, don't waste your time until you get yourself together. I'm just being real. So this is the wheel that I went with. I've already ordered them. I've already sent half of my money. So this is something that somebody's talking about doing. No, I've sent half my money. In fact, I just received a video. It's been about a month later since I've done this process, but I just received a video at the time of me making this video right now of my wheels being produced. This is the world we live in. So this conversation goes all the way back to 5/11. 5/11. It is 6/13. So it's been a month and 2 days. And this is what I said. Hello, I'm looking for a quote on a set of 4 forged wheels, which is this design right here. Now, some of you may know what this design is. Some of you may have seen this wheel design before. But the thing is, they want about $2,000 for this wheel. Matter of fact, let me show you the wheel. Now, depending on who you're buying it from, they can be about $2,400. Right here is $2,200, $550 a wheel. Let's say $2,200. It's a 22 by 10 and a half. It just depends on who you're getting it from. And again, going back, that's what I showed them. The difference is These wheels coming from the manufacturer, if I would have bought them off of eBay or any other wheel source, they're still coming from China. Even the wheels I have in my bins, they came from China. The difference is the ones that I'm ordering, they are literally forged wheels. If I would have ordered them from eBay, you just saw, anywhere else, they would not be forged. I'm getting true forged wheels, which means they're going to be stronger and they're going to be lighter. And these, when I say these are one-off custom wheels built for this car, my Jaguar, my 96 Jaguar XJ6, that's what we got going on. So these are my specifications. I'm being specific in regards to what I want. True 6061 T6 forged aluminum monoblock. I gave them the size. I gave them my bolt pattern. I gave them the offset. I gave them the center bore. I want it exact so I don't have to use any hub-centric rings. It's going to fit directly on my vehicle. I got my finish, and these are my requirements. Now, the reason you put these requirements in there is because they're going to make a contract, or they're going to make a work order, and they're also going to make a contract. And they're going to put this in there so if you get the wheels and it doesn't match up with what you have in the requirements in the contract, you can get your money back or you can send it back. You see what I'm saying? So the reason I put the weight in here, wheels must be CNC machined to a final weight of under 30 pounds per wheel, verifying they are actually forged wheels. Forged wheels are going to weigh a certain amount. You can't fake the weight. Even with what they have called flow form. You cannot fake the weight of true forged wheels. So I put about 30 pounds. You can do your research. And then I put, can you provide an FEA report or load rating certificate for your 22-inch forged wheels? I'm not going to go into all the detail on that. You can look this up and find out what this means. When you put this type of stuff, they know you mean business. And then I said, do you offer Jaguar logo center caps? Specifically, do you have the smaller center cap floating self-leveling option with the black Jaguar? Now, I did have a problem right here with this, but we rectified the problem. So now I gave them my shipping going to Arkansas. This must include all customs duties and anti-dumping fees. A lot of people that's showing you these videos, doing these videos, they're not going to break it down to you like this. So we're going to go into detail. Bear with me. It may be a little bit longer, but do you want me to show you the right way or you just want me to just show you whatever? I'm showing you the actual conversation, the wheels and everything. All this is important. Anti-dumping fees. You want to learn this because you can get charged for it and then you got to pay some money. You want to make sure this is included. Most of the time it is included, but you want to make sure. Then documentation. I require a photo of the raw blanks and a video of the CNC process for my record/business content. Please provide the best total price for the set and shipping. I am looking to start production this week. And then, I got my name and everything. That's why I said don't play games with them. You can get a price quote and stuff like that. But what I like to do is I'm not even really reaching out until I know I'm ready. And I was ready. Came back and said, our 22x9 forged wheels are made from aerospace grade, boom, 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 CNC machine to under 30 pounds. They come with all that. I'll check on the caps and photos of the raw blanks. We're working on the shipping quote to Arkansas, including all duties. But what's your production timeline? You see, the conversation is different. The conversation is different. Like, okay, he's serious about it. I said, thank you for your quick response, It sounds like your manufacturer said exactly what I'm looking for. Now you're going to have this conversation at the beginning with multiple suppliers because you want to see if that's who you want to work with based on their response. And then once you start to narrow it down, you're going to get a price from each of them and you can use those prices to negotiate to get a better price. I did that with some other ones because once I ordered these, some other people reached out and they didn't respond fast enough. So I was like, well, I already ordered the wheels. And they were like, well, how much did you pay? And this and that, I'm like, I ain't going to tell you all that. And they were like, did Frank, did you buy them from Frank? I'm like, I don't know Frank. And then the crazy thing is a guy named Frank reached out to me later on and was like, hey, you still need the wheels. If you don't need the wheels, come shop with me next time you need some wheels. So I got a quote from him on some other wheels that I'm going to be ordering for the Yukon. And then I'm going to take his quote and then compare it to some other quotes I'm going to get. And I told him, I said, hey, I will let you get the business if you can beat their price. So, I go on to say, regarding the timeline, I'm ready to pay the deposit and start the 3D design phase this week. I expect standard forge production times around 15 to 20 days after 3D drawing approval, followed immediately by sea freight shipping. It's been, it's been like a month, cause I started this conversation on the 11th, but you know, they got to do the 3D processing, the drawing and everything, and then you get your approval. Then I said, to be transparent, I'm currently at the final negotiation stage with another supplier who has quoted me $1,500 USD total. That includes the 4-wheel, custom caps, and the DDP shipping to Arkansas. That just basically means the shipping get directly to your door. If you can match or beat that $1,500 total price, provide the floating Jaguar caps and guarantee the sub 30-pound weight and exact 73.8 millimeter hub-centric bore in the trade assurance contract, I'm most likely ready to move forward. And then that's what I say. And then they said, we're ready to kick off the 3D design phase as soon as your deposit is in. Our team is working on a competitive quote that includes the floating Jaguar caps and guarantees the sub 30-pound weight, shipping costs, and so on and so on. So it said, hello, sir. Okay, I am now verifying your request. Okay, sounds good. And then they sent this. So I'm going to show you what I paid for them. I'm going to show you what I paid for them. Let me see if I can. So we got one piece for it, 22 by 9. I got my my offset. You want to make sure your offsets are right. Everything looks good. The front wheel price has cost me $251. This is for True Forge monoblock wheels. 2, boom, boom, boom. You got the powder coating that charged me, 30. That's per piece. Per wheel, 120. Then you got the custom center cap, 15. It's going to be for the regular one. That was the total wheel price. And then I got the wheel and the freight. They gave me a $50 discount for a total of $1,484 for True Forge wheels. Now I could have went offset 22 by 10.5. I wanted to be safe to make sure that these go in the vehicle with no problems. 22 by 9 is going to fit perfectly with some 245 or 255 30. I know I'd be good there. But again, y'all want to know how much I paid? $1,484 for one-piece forged wheels. Again, if I would have bought them from eBay or any of the other wheel shops, I would have been paying over $2,000 and they would not have even been forged. Now you may be saying, well, did you actually buy them? Of course I did. I wouldn't be making a video if I didn't. I wouldn't be telling you that I purchased them and I put the deposit down if I didn't. So they said, hello, sir. The total price right there is acceptable for the transaction. Now, I like the breakdown, ready to proceed, but I need to confirm 3 technical points first. The weight guarantee, the verification, the center caps, and then they respond 22 by 9 to find a weight. And then basically they're confirming what I'm asking, because this is what you want to do. You want to confirm so it's there. If you have any issues, they can't say, well, we never discussed that. Then they said the weight of the 22 by 9 wheel is approximately 11 kg. So my math was a little bit off, but I knew that it's supposed to be in a certain range. And then I went back and did some math. Okay, that's good to go, as you will see. They sent me a video of one they were doing. And that's what you see right here. You can't see the video, but it was there. This is a 2-piece structure of the mid-plate blank. So if you want a 2-piece wheel, a 3-piece wheel, they can do it. I said that is perfect. I appreciate your transparency and technical confirmation. I'm ready to move forward. Please create the Alibaba trade assurance order link for the 50% deposit. And then I said, make sure that this is written in the order remarks or contract section. You want to make sure that you got this. That way, there's no if ands or buts about what you're supposed to be getting. And then once you send the link, I will review and pay the deposit today so we can start the 3D drawings. And said, do you want the Jaguar floating cover? Do you have pictures or videos? So I sent it what I wanted. And they said, sir, this is not easy to make into a floating cover. So that was an issue because I wanted the floating Jaguar center cap. I wanted something different. If I'm getting a custom wheel, I want it to be custom because you don't see something like that. And I said, what do you have that works? I really just want that design on the cap, which is the Jaguar center. And then the logo can be implemented. It's just not easy to create a floating effect. I said, okay, that's fine. Okay, I will now prepare a detailed information sheet for you. Ask me about my car model, 1996 Jaguar XJ6. Did you use the original brake rotor and caliper specifications? And I said, yes. And then they sent me another image. It says, this is the effect of a machine surface with a transparent coating. Is this okay? And then I think I told them no. As you will see, I wanted the brushed. So that was like a 3D rendering of her wheel. And then this is the production details. It's a drawing and production details, which shows the style of wheel I'm getting and the caps. And it's basically the same information you just saw. This says gloss silver with machine face, but it's going to be changed. The caliper data, and then those are the notes I was talking about. Materials, 6061 T6 forged aluminum wheel, the weight, the video, the shipping method, and then, you know, basically saying the same thing. They told me to check the specification sheet. I said that looks excellent. I actually prefer this brushed machine surface with the transparent coating over the standard gloss silver. It shows off the quality of the forged aluminum much better. Please proceed with the finish for the entire set. I assume the barrel will also be finished in the same way or a matching silver. And then once you confirm that, then I'm ready to move forward. So then they said this is the brushed silver. And then they said they need this information right here. And that's why I changed it. Because first they gave me the machine surface just with the transparent coating. But then I switched it. I said, no, I want the brush finish. And then that's when they updated the drawing in production. As you see right here, it says brush silver, which is what we want to give it that, that luxury look. I provided my information. It says, okay, sir, please wait a moment. I will create the order. And then I gave my, my postal code, stuff like that. Then they submitted over, waiting for initial payment, total $1,484. Shipped 90 days after full payment is received. Then they said, hello, sir. I have already created the order for you. Please let me know once the payment is completed, and I will arrange for the designer to create the drawings. I said, okay, thank you. Thumbs up. I'm looking over everything. I think the wrong drawing and production details are attached. It states gloss silver machine face instead of the brush silver. So you want to make sure that everything is right. Okay, I'll make the changes. And then they made the changes. They updated it. I've re-uploaded the attachment. I said, okay, payment has been completed. Okay, sir, I will now arrange for the designer to draw the plans, which would take about 3 days. Did I order the wheels? Yes, I ordered the wheels. I made a 50% deposit, and then they started. I said, okay, thanks. They sent this, and they asked me, did I want this writing right here? I said, sir, is this engraving needed? And I said, I cannot make out what it says completely from the picture. Can you confirm? Thanks. And they said, I can't see it very clearly either. You can engrave your name on it. I didn't want my name on it. And I said, yes, I would like the engraving. I did my research. The script engraving on the face says, Hera Baroni is a stylized cursive logo. I said, when they are being manufactured, they should be able to know based on the image we have been looking at together, since it is the original image of your listing. And so, okay, thanks. Okay, sir, thank you. Then they sent over a rendering. Right there, you see all the information is correct. And that's that brushed look, the Jaguar center cap. That's another image of it right there, another angle. It's another one, another angle. You see it has the engraving right there, and you know the actual wheels, they have this engraving. I just did my research to find out what it is and what it means. Then they sent me another one. I was a little bit confused about this because this one was black, and I was like, okay, is it going to be black or is it not going to be? Please refer to the drawing, which shows the dimensions, width, offset values, and other details. And you can read the rest of it. They said, please note that since this is a custom design, once we start production, the wheels cannot be modified or refunded. That's why I said you got to make sure you know what you're getting and your measurements and all this other stuff is right. Because once they start production, ain't no going back. And I said, will the engraving be black? It appears black in the image. It's not black. It's just engraved. The black in the picture is just to make it clear for you to see. And then I said, I understand that because the design is a full face plate design, it retains more metal mass and runs heavier than a split spoke wheel. It makes sense that the CAD software calculated 16.5 kg. So we're talking about the weight. I'm like, the weight ain't where I want it to be based on them sending me this image right here with the specs. So I said, can they check this out and do this? And this is just a method they can do to make the wheel lighter and take some of the metal off that's not needed to get closer to that rating. Some of them can do it, some of them can't. So they said, okay, sir, I will go and communicate with the designer. Then I said I was looking at getting another quote on another set of wheels. And they said, of course, you can share the styles. And then they said, hello, sir, I have already communicated with the designer. The designer said that it's not possible to reduce the weight further. There's only 17 millimeter of space at the end of the wheel hub. And if we reduce it anymore, the window design won't be possible to achieve. This is the type of language you want to hear. If they don't know what they're talking about, then you need to go to somebody else. If they don't know what they're talking about from the beginning, you need to go to somebody else. Because if they know what they're talking about, they're going to say the right things. And then they sent the image to show why they couldn't do it. This is based on the computer design, the CAD, why they couldn't do it. So some of you may understand it, some of you may not. I understand it enough. I'm just showing you the process. So I basically say, thank you for checking with the designer. After I did some more research, I said, okay, that's perfect. So the wheels, they weigh a little bit more, but they're still in the weight size of what a forged wheel is going to weigh. You can't fake the weight, y'all. Cause some of these sellers, they will tell you they're selling you true forged wheels, but they're cast or it's a mix. If you're getting forged wheels, you're paying for forged wheels, then you want to make sure you're getting forged wheels. And once I get the wheels, guess what? I'm going to weigh them to make sure that they are what they say they are. Let's say everything looks correct on the drawing and the specification sheet. I officially approve the design. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, sir, we will send you the production video during the milling process, which will take about 2 weeks. Okay, sounds good. It said, due to the need for a brush color treatment, we expect to complete production within 25 days. And then this is the wheel design that I sent them. This is a 26 by 12 custom wheel. I kind of like design, everything King Forge with the custom center cap, custom floating cap. And then they gave me a quote on that and everything. You see 26 by 12 monoblock, gave them the specs, same thing. This is a video they sent me, not of my wheel, but of one that they were doing. So I'll play that real fast. And y'all stay tuned. You will see my wheel getting cut. So it's like a 20 second video. And they said this is a processing video of a 26 by 12 -53. Then they start talking about the floating center cap, how much it's going to cost me for the 26 by 12. They send a few videos showing you this is what they do now. They don't want you to know this. I'm giving you the whole breakdown. So make sure y'all subscribe, Make sure you like, make sure you share. Somebody got a custom center cap right there. It's another video they sent me. Then I started asking about the center caps. 'Cause I'm like, you know, I want the floating center caps. Right. And they said, sir, the main thing is that the center covers on our side are designed with snap fit mechanism, which is your typical center cap. And then they sent me a picture of what I would be getting. They said, if this sign is made into a floating cover, I'll go and ask about it. Remember at the beginning, I asked about it and they basically said they couldn't do it. Now I'm asking again. Because I asked something else and now they're looking into it. I said, okay, that would be great. I prefer the floating center, not LED light up. Because what it was, I looked up some floating center caps that would fit that wheel, but it has to be the right millimeter in the middle or it's not going to work. And that's what brought it back up. They have them to fit, but they are LED and I didn't want the light up LED ones. And I said, I remember asking when we first started communicating, but I thought you said you couldn't do the floating cap style. They said this cannot be made into an identical floating cover. We are currently contacting the center cover manufacturer, but there may be additional cost. Now we're getting really custom because I'm about to get some custom wheels and the center cover manufacturer is going to make me some custom floating center caps for those wheels specifically. Just how I want them. I said, okay, let me know. And then they sent me this. And then I said, they said, this black one okay? I said, they are LED. And said, it's okay without LED. I said, how much are you charging for the black non-LED? I do not want LED. An additional $60 is required in total. And then they sent me these right here. You see? So I'm assuming these came from the center cover manufacturer showing that, hey, we can make them. It says something like this effect, change the blue to black. Nice, that is fine. You can add to the current balance I have remaining and update the order. Blase, blase. Will these caps sit flush like the non-floating caps or do they extend slightly over the hole? The center might be slightly off center. This can be perfectly adjusted to fit the wheels you ordered. The floating covers all have a slight protrusion in the center. And then they created a new order for me. As you see, it was $60 for some custom center caps, which is obviously pretty good. And I said, okay, perfect. I'm going to look into it a little bit more to see if that is the route I want to go, especially considering there is a slight protrusion in the center because I didn't understand the protrusion part. And then they said what I mean by slight protrusion is the outer cover. So it's like dome a little bit. It's not like flat. And then it said this should be relatively clear to see in regards to what they're describing as the protrusion. You see how it's not all the way flat. So that's basically what they're going to be making to fit that wheel. I see what is the size of the Jaguar floating caps. It's customized according to the center board, and then we will adapt it after purchasing. Then they said, sir, you need to decide on this quickly. We need to get the center cap first before we can start milling the middle plate. And I said, boom, okay, I confirm. They said, okay, sir. Which leads us up to today where they sent the video. Hello, sir. This is the production video of the wheels. The wheel still needs some detail and color processing. It is expected to be completed in about a week. Now let's get the video. It's just a 6-second video, but you see, those are the wheels right there. Play it one more time. Those are my custom wheels being cut. And, that's all I got. That's all I got for right now. I'll wait till the next process, which will probably be the final production, them powder coating them, doing the brush finish on them and then sealing them and everything. Send me pictures over, let me know they're ready to go. Me approving them, and then on the boat. If y'all got any questions, drop it in the comment section and I will answer them as best as I can. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I want to tell you who I got it from, but I don't want to tell you, and I'm probably not going to tell you right now because I want to make sure that everything is good on my end before I start introducing other people and, allowing y'all to get wheels. I don't want y'all to get wheels from the people and then they be garbage. Let me go through the whole process first, completely, and then I'll, link that up and stuff like that. But if you want to, you can go in there and I'm going to show y'all what you can do. Matter of fact, I'll show y'all my contract real fast. So you see, it says order details. That's the day I ordered, 5/11. It is currently 6/13. And that's my balance that I owe right there because I already paid half of it. Once they get the wheels complete and they're ready to ship, then that's when I pay the rest of the money. But if you want to go ahead and order you some wheels, you come over to Alibaba. You're going to click image search. You're going to click upload. And let's say I was looking for these snowflakes. Well, matter of fact, let's go these you know what right here. You see them? Y'all know what that is. You see the F in the middle. So I'm going to put that in there. It's going to upload. Boom. It did a search based on the wheel that I'm looking for. Now I'm just going to go through here. And what I like to do is I just like to do verify supplier. And then I'm just going to go through and I'm going to find the best price. I'm also going to look at their ratings. I'm going to look at their reviews and everything. And then once I narrow it down to who I want to use, I'm going to start reaching out with what I want and then eventually go with the supplier that I want. Of course, you don't want to go with the highest person unless you just want to go with them because their starting price is $538 for those wheels. And then, theirs is $460. But some people may do 22, 24, 26s. The prices are going to be, be different. And then you got manufacturer that are making these wheels in that design. You can even get them in these, in a deep offset. And that's that same wheel we just uploaded. You can get a custom center cap. You don't have to get the you-know-what in the middle. So let's click on it. And let's see. They're going to show you pictures and everything. Like, come on. We know what's up. Let's see. 26s. 5-lug. Silver. So it's saying 801. I'm not paying that. I'm not paying no 801. Matter of fact, let's click it again. And then that would be how much? $3,204 for some 26s. I mean, that's not bad, but I believe I can do better if I was ordering these wheels. If I couldn't do better and everybody's coming back at the same price, then I would say, hey, I got somebody that's offering me the wheels for this price. Can you beat it? And then they gonna say they can beat it or not beat it, and then boom, boom, boom. But that's all I got for y'all. I'm out. Y'all have a blessed one.